Okay, so for 13, we know that all three of these arcs, 1, 2, 3, are congruent because all three of their chords are congruent. So we can now set up an equation that says 102 plus 3x equals 360. Then when we move the 102 over, we get 3x equals 258. And when we divide by the 3, we get that x equals 86 degrees. That's why AB here, the one that's marked, ends up being 86 degrees because 1, 2, 3, all three of these are 86 degrees, and they're all the same. So on number 15, we know that DC and BC are congruent because this diameter perpendicularly bisects chord BD. Because it perpendicularly bisects BD, then it means that the two arcs are also congruent to each other. So if this is 115, it means that AB is also 115 degrees. Because we're looking for BD, we just have to add up the two 115s, which give us 230, and then we'll do 360 minus that to give us 130 degrees for arc BD, that whole arc right there. Okay, so for 18, we know that this angle here, angle P, and that angle, angle Q, are right angles. So once we have that information, we know they're right angles because PQ is tangent to both of those, and we know that tangent lines intersect the radius at right angles. So since we have two right angles and a 75 degrees, we'd add all those up. 90 plus 90 plus 75, and that gives us 255. And we know MNQ, what we're looking for, right angle MNQ, we can call that x, so 255 plus x equals 360 because it's a quadrilateral, so all four angles have to add up to 360. So then x in this case will equal 105 once we subtract it over. So we know all the radii, AC, BC, EC, and DC are all congruent to each other. Because we know they're congruent, we know these are isosceles triangles. So since this is an isosceles triangle, the two base angles, 50 and 50, are congruent to each other. Since this is an isosceles triangle, those two are both 65. So once we know that, we can find out that arc AB here is the same as ACB, because ACB is the central angle. So then we can know this angle in here is 80 degrees. We just do 180 minus 100. 50 plus 50 is 100. So we know that arc AB here is 80 degrees. Same thing here with ECD. ECD is the central angle to arc ED. So we'd add up 65 and 65, which gets us 130. And 180 minus 130 gives us 50 degrees. So arc ED is 50 degrees. Let me know if you have any other questions.